Hey everybody. I was just watching a video that Lisa Simpson had done a long time ago, and somebody else had redone it. And they were talking about the old days of YouTube and the old school bloggers. Back in the day when the site was kind of new and you came on here and you saw people communicating with one another and talking about things that were just as mundane as, what they did today, and the funny thing they saw at the grocery store, and not really thinking much more about it than that. The old days of YouTube. It's funny, it was only a year or so ago. You'd get on here and you'd say what you thought about something, and then somebody else would see your video and they'd say, yeah, you know what, I kind of agree with you. Or they tell you were an idiot because you thought that way. I remember those days. I remember the first video that I saw when I came here was one of Norna. And all she was doing was just living her life, getting corn dogs out of the freezer, and somehow that was interesting to have a peek into somebody's real life and what they were about. And then it got all jumbled up. People started worrying about who's on the top of the list, and people started cheating and pointing fingers at one another and making accusations. And even then, even when the accusations were being made back and forth, people were communicating. They were saying, this is what I think about this, and I don't know what you guys think, but this is what I think. And it was good. And it was interesting. It wasn't always entertaining. Hell, half the time it was frickin' boring as hell. But you watched because it was people communicating. I come over to YouTube recently. Came back to YouTube, some people say. I never really left. I've always been here looking, watching. When I came back over here and kind of looked around, and I see a lot more people who have websites up and are asking for donations, and I'm guilty of that too. I see people that are cheating the same as they've always done. Some of them gotten a little bit better at it and getting up to the top of the list, and I see people getting upset because that guy got featured and he shouldn't be featured. Hell, I remember a cat crapping in the toilet getting featured. And it just doesn't have the same feeling that I remember from when I first came here. I don't know if that's because I've changed or because the site's changed. Maybe it's just that there's more water's gone under the bridge and time moves on. I don't know. It's the same old place, and people are pretty much doing the same old thing. There seems to be a much higher value to being on the top of a list somewhere. But it's the same old thing. I'm not seeing as much communication as I am people trying to get ahead. And with the advent of people like Lonely Girl and remember Emo Kid Ohio 21. With the advent of people who came out here and created characters and were, pretending to be somebody that they weren't, people found out that they can do that, and you see a lot more of that here. You also see people pointing their fingers and calling the kettle black. Recently, there's been a big hoopla about Ian Crossmack went and saw a movie and got his panties in a bunch, and how mad he got and how he called people out. And the fact of the matter is, I don't believe that Ian was really all that upset. I think Ian was just perpetuating his viewership. He was just doing what Ian does. He was being a space cadet, and he was, pointing a finger and being very accusatory, because that's what Ian's videos, if you watch them at all, you'll discover that they're challenging, and usually in a negative way. Or he's high and telling you about how awesome everything is. and and people watch it because it's entertaining to see somebody so troubled and so screwed up still making videos, and take them with himself, because let's face it, Ian is taken with himself. But I didn't come out here to pick on Ian. I'm just saying the old YouTube days of just sitting down and telling people what you think and why you think that, and asking what other people think. I don't see that as much anymore. Now that could be because I haven't been on the site and making videos, and so when you stop talking in a conversation, people start leaving you out of the conversation. So I guess that could be why. I don't know. I know that I still find videos that are funny and laugh, and some that make me cry. I still see some people communicating back and forth. I've watched the gathering thing evolve. The very first gathering, the As One gathering in San Francisco, was just super duper commercial, and people were going to take advantage of that and become somebody by going to this event. And there were those people who were starstruck with people that they watch on YouTube. And then 777 came about, and there was a lot of fighting and arguing about who put the thing together and everything else. And then when that died out, people got together and had a good time, but it seems like people had a better time based on the videos. It seems like people had a much better time at 777, and 777 wasn't quite as it didn't seem as commercial. It seemed more like people getting together to just talk. And now South Tube's coming in Georgia, or Atlanta, Georgia, on the 23rd of September. And even more so, you're not seeing a lot of big names saying, oh yeah, I'm going to be down there, and it's not being promoted as widely and openly, which is a shame, because I think a lot of people would enjoy going. But one of the things that impresses me more than anything else about it is that it really feels like just vloggers getting together to hang out for a weekend and have a little fun. And that's my kind of thing. And I don't have all my ducks in a row yet, but I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about going. There's a lot of people that are going down there that I would like to see, and meet, and not YouTube stars, not people who are really famous, but just people whose videos I watch that I kind of dig and seem like nice people. And I think I'd have some fun hanging out with them. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to go or not. There's a matter of getting someone to take care of Mom while I'm gone, and there really isn't anybody else to do that. She can't stay on her own. And then once that's done, there's the whole situation going down there and stuff. I've looked it up. It cost me about $500 to go down there for a 3-day weekend, and that doesn't include drinks or running around or anything else. That's just getting down there and back. But I'm thinking about it. I kind of miss the old days of YouTube, and yet I really enjoy some of the newer stuff that's coming and to YouTube, including comedy groups that have formed and trying to get on YouTube. YouTube's on the television all the time, so it's more well known now, and it seems like now people are rushing over, not to talk and communicate, but they're rushing over here just to get noticed. Maybe that's the difference in YouTube today and YouTube back then, is that when we came here back then, we didn't come here to get noticed. We came here because we had a need to say something, whatever that might be. And so we did. And we had a need and a want to hear from other people and to compare notes and see, what do you think? So I don't know that it's any worse or any better than it used to be, but it's certainly different. No doubt about it. Now, I'm sure my friend Raven Laughs would say, see, Zen, I told you. I told you this was going to happen. And I guess if this is what he was talking about, I would have to eat some crow and say, yeah, you know what, Raven, you were right. I still think the community's the community. There's enough room for everybody and we can communicate. But it's not the same old YouTube. That's for sure. Anyway, that's my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours. Until next time, this is an old ZenArcher. Feeling old today, anyway. Saying, you be well.